Now to a controversial arrest at SFO that's igniting a fight over free speech and who's allowed into the country. So the case involves Sami Hamdi, a British Muslim political commentator who criticizes the Israeli government. The Trump administration revoked his visa, but his supporters say he was targeted for his views on the war in Gaza. And as John Ramos reports, how it came to the attention of the State Department is another part of the story.
The arrest of Sami Hamdi is raising questions about the limits of free speech when it comes to immigration policy, but it's also raising questions about the role of social media influencers in driving those policies.
They're physically struggling to take Gaza. They've demolished it. They've bombed all the buildings, and still they can't take it.
Sami Hamdi is not shy when it comes to criticizing the state of Israel and its military campaign in Gaza. The British citizen is a frequent media commentator who was traveling on a visitor visa on a speaking tour of the U.S. He had just given a speech in Sacramento on Saturday night and was heading for another in Florida when ICE agents arrested him at SFO on Sunday morning. Rashad Nourzeh is executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations, which sponsored the address in Sacramento.
He's had a very consistent message, and that's why we brought him here. He's spoken very vocally against the Gaza genocide, and he's been calling on the Muslim community to continue engaging through political processes, through every legal measure, social media activism, protests, whatever it might be.
But the federal government sees him as more than that. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said in an email, quote, "Under President Trump, those who support terrorism and undermine American national security will not be allowed to work or visit this country. It's common sense." End quote.
This is a disturbing trend. It's very post 9/11, war on terror. Anyone that speaks up critically, and in the past it was against the U.S. government policy. Sadly, now it's anyone that speaks up against the Israeli government policy.
But at the end of her statement, McLaughlin added a link to social media influencer Amy Meck. Her real name is Amy Meckelberg, a right-wing commentator who's been railing against Hamdi's presence in this country, saying, quote, "Remove him, bar re-entry, and force the statute." Professor Bill Hing at the University of San Francisco says he is surprised at the amount of influence online posters may be having on State Department policy.
The fact that the administration is listening to a critic of this gentleman who called up the Secretary of State and said, hey, this guy's causing trouble. He's criticizing Israel and our position with respect to the Gaza situation. That's unusual that one person can call and then get this big political machine moving in this direction.
ICE says Hamdi's visa was revoked on Friday, so he was here illegally when they arrested him on Sunday. Professor Hing says there is a provision in immigration law where someone can be removed for taking a position that is contrary to American foreign policy. But it's never been used in this way.
These are the first incidents where that's being used. And the question is going to be, is taking a position critical of Israel, is that in fact contrary to U.S. foreign policy?
ICE confirmed to us yesterday that Hamdi had been arrested and was being detained and will be placed in immigration proceedings. They gave no updates today about his status or whereabouts. This year, the State Department has revoked a number of student visas for college students that have spoken out against Israel's invasion of Gaza.